He's pushing Porto.
Up the hill they go to the very fast 5th, 6th gear now, and then down just 1 gear to the very fast right-hander, the Cito Pons corner. On board now, you get to see it. Down onto the back straight towards Curva Dreisack. That's Gomendy's view.
Gomendy keeping the apex, using all the track width and over the curbs.
Corinthians can get the podium here. It'll be their first ever podium here in Super League, and that's a big result for the Brazilians. Antonio Pizzoni, we know his class from Formula 1 days, and he certainly, and I'll tell you what, we were saying it in qualifying, Pizzoni probably knows this track better than anyone else, simply because of the testing time he's done in Formula 1 here at Jerez.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, this track is currently used a lot for Formula 1 testing, and they're going round and round this track, and knowing the track is a big advantage here.
There's the gap again, and last lap, 1:31.6 by Liverpool. AC Milan, are they making any inroads? We'll have a look this time as they cross the line, 1:31.7.
And Anderlecht is the fastest car out there. Craig Dolby doing a very good job in starting at the back, and he just lapped in a 30.1, which is nearly a 29.
There he is. So, go on, Craig, the man from Melton Mowbray going strong here.
I'm a great supporter of Craig Dolby because he's been very impressive this season. I didn't know him before Nürburgring, and at Nürburgring he finished twice second, and it was so impressive starting at the back of the grid and finishing so strongly, and here he is again doing it again.
He's a real charger, isn't he?
Yes. Fantastic races, fantastic racecraft, basically.
15 minutes to go. A 44-minute race plus 1 lap.
And he has Tottenham in front of him, they've done a good thing as well. They've done good races, good racecraft from Duncan Tappy. So a very good fight, actually, in this little group led by AC Milan.
Yeah, AC Milan actually holding station there in second place. And everyone, Craig Dolby is going just a little bit quicker, and you can see he's using the road.
Yep.
Good race, this. Just what we wanted for the final race of the season here at Jerez. Through the chicane they come. Big bump on the exit there. See them bouncing over it as we go on board with AC Milan.
It makes this corner very tricky because without the bump, it would be taken flat easy, but with the bump, you really have to be careful on the throttle. You really have to keep the steering wheel light in case you catch oversteer to make sure you can catch the car.
So the gap, 10 seconds, 10.7 seconds now between the leaders. 1:32, Liverpool have kicked it down a bit, and if anything, AC Milan were quicker in that last lap, as were the chasing pack. So Liverpool have cranked it down just a little bit with 14 to go.
Craig Dolby still putting pressure on Tottenham, and we have Corinthians. Milan is breathing a little bit. He's nearly a second ahead of the Corinthians. Corinthians are 1.1 second ahead of Porto.
And Beijing in 10th place and some 4 seconds behind PSV Eindhoven. They need to get into 9th place.
Yeah, but still PSV is quicker than Sevilla.
It's all over for Flamenco. Well, we saw right in the early stages that Tuco Rocca was having problems. Liverpool went past them.
Not a good weekend for Tuco Rocha and Flamengo.
No. 13 minutes to go then. AC Milan's Robert Dornbos being chased hard by Antonio Pizzoni. Duncan Tappy, Craig Dolby.
So who's going to make a mistake first in that group?
Good question. Can't tell you. Corinthians, go on.
Gomendy is pretty steady, never puts the wheel in the grass.
I'll tell you what will happen. Craig Dolby will have a go.
At Tottenham.
He'll either pull it off or he won't. One of the two.
Really possible. Okay, good little pack of cars here.
You know, it was interesting. I talked to Tristan Gomendy and Craig Dolby yesterday, and one of the phenomena of Super League Formula, as we see now the gap between Liverpool and AC Milan up to 11 seconds. One of the phenomena, though, for these drivers, that they've spent all their careers racing for themselves and their family, you know, and their team, whatever team it is that year. Suddenly, they found the pressure of a full 100,000 fans, if not more, around the world, bearing down on them, and they do feel that pressure. It's quite different. They've never had it in motor racing.
No, for sure. They have to They have a big weight to carry on their shoulders, but at the same time, I think it's great motivation. You can see Adrian Reyes for Liverpool loves
he's rising to it.
Yes, and Milan AC as Milan, the same with Dornbus, who's quite close from the team. And again, Anderlecht. I mean, Craig Dolby felt so much support from the crowd when he went there that I'm sure he really wants to do well, and it multiplies his motivation.
No question about it. They really are under pressure, and Tristan Gomedy said after that win at Bellelunga, he felt like the monkey was off his back. He felt like the pressure had gone and that he could really enjoy now racing. And Sevilla definitely under pressure today. They had all sorts of problems in qualifying, had a crash with understeer into the gravel trap as we go back with AS Roma, currently in 7th place, 1.9 seconds behind Anderlecht. So a shame for Roma. Liverpool crossed the line now. They did a 1:32.0 their last lap. Milan crossed the line now. A 1:32.1. The gap still 11.2 seconds.
And Roma and Sevilla and Eindhoven. Beijing is not closing the gap on PSV Eindhoven. Beijing is running in a 1:32.4. He's taking it easy. PSV Eindhoven is in the 31s.
Beijing still in 10th position.
So now we're on PSV Eindhoven, who's at the back of that group of cars, who's currently running in 9th position in front of Beijing.
Yeah, Beijing would pick up 18 points for 10th place. Everybody scores, remember. Alain behind them, FC Basel. Out of turn 2 and third 3 with 10 minutes to go.
And now the last 10 minutes are going to be hard for the drivers. We might see a few mistakes happening because the track is hard physically, and it's the oxygen which is going to start lacking in the brain and in the muscles.
Well, Davide Rigan has shown no sign of weakness throughout the season. They've led all the way as the Italian representing Beijing, who of course head to the Bird's Nest Stadium, famous from the Olympics. And the Beijing team very much on the map now, both in racing terms and in football terms. Still a young team, only came into existence back in the early 90s. PSV Eindhoven just 6 seconds ahead of Beijing. There is PSV.
And here is Beijing crossing the line, still in 10th position. So we have Liverpool leading with 11 seconds on AC Milan, who's in front of Corinthians, just behind them, and just behind them as well Porto, then Tottenham, then Craig Dolby with Anderlecht, then Roma. Disappointment from Roma in 7th.
As the fuel comes down, Bruce, you've done a lot of test miles in these cars. Does it get easier then, therefore, as you put some more pressure on in terms of getting some lap times?
Well, the lap time is coming down on his own as the car gets lighter, but you can brake later, you can ask a little bit more. As the car is getting lighter, it's much easier and much faster. The only thing is that you get tired.
Yeah. Liverpool will go 2nd in the league, as you just saw there, if they finish off here. And they didn't start that way. They were all the way down after the first race, down in 7th position in the standings. And they've steadily built their way through. And I spoke to Valles yesterday, and he said that were it not for the few mechanical problems that they've had, they've been consistent and they could have won more races.
Yeah, I mean, all of them, we have AC Milan now on the screen, all of them had problems. It's never been easy for anyone. It was the beginning of the season, but they were competitive, that's for sure.
Well, their Achilles heel was Nürburgring, of course, where they had 2 DNFs. Back with this battle in the midfield. There is Craig Dolby.
AC Milan under pressure from the Corinthians and from Porto.
Well, Corinthians now smell the possibility of getting a 2nd place, and they are pushing AC Milan hard. Antonia really on it at the moment.
Very good race. Well, those 3 drivers are very experienced. AC Milan with Robert Dornbus has on Formula 1 and Champ cars.
Well, the top 5 are on identical times in the last lap. They really are pushing hard each other. Within a 10th of each other in every lap. That's saying something.
Yep, all waiting for someone to make a mistake, but none of them are making a mistake. But it's very easy. You see Atletico Madrid coming into the pits.
Yeah, I know, one big mistake. That was a big mistake.
That was terrible. The car is very heavy, still without fuel. The car has a lot of inertia through the corner, and if you get it sideways, it's very hard to catch.
And remember, here's the interesting fact here, and something that Davide Rigon will be thinking about right now, is that